Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelly Sabrina and let me ask you a question. Have you been going through life feeling like things happen to you? Do you always feel like you're the unlucky one? Bad things are always attracted to you, bad experiences? Well, I want to challenge that and I want to talk about the victim mentality. And a lot of times we grow up, many people grow up, I grew up with a victim mentality. So let's talk about how we get this victim mentality. So as we're growing up, we go through different experiences in life, and those life experiences shape us. Our environment shapes us. And if that is not the best experience, the most positive experience, a lot of times we might put the blame on others for us having these experiences, or maybe we're victims to certain crimes or certain unfortunate things and events. So we walk around feeling like the victim. So why we feel like the victim is because we're like, okay, why did this happen to me? Why me? Why not someone else? So we're victimized. We feel hurt that these different life situations happen to us, so we don't want to put the blame on ourselves, of course not. And I'm not saying it's exactly your fault for the experiences you have gone through. It could be very well actually someone else's fault. But a lot of times what we do is we like to put the blame on other people, even if some things just aren't their fault. So definitely think about that. I think it's important to realize that you haven't reached a goal or a dream or your plans that you had for your life, or maybe some unfortunate events happen to you, and not because of someone else, but because those things might have been your fault. It might be your fault the way things are happening in your life. It's important to take self-responsibility. It's important to self-reflect, look in the mirror, and realize that your life is the way it is, not only because maybe some people may or may not have done things to you to hinder you, but maybe you've been a hindrance to yourself as well. A lot of times we are our own biggest enemy. Like, I know for me, I was my own biggest enemy, and at times I am still my biggest enemy. It's like me versus me. For example, when I was trying to get into medical school and I finally got accepted, I didn't do the best. I didn't like the curriculum. I didn't like the program. It was just all these different factors. So I dropped out. So I have a choice. I can blame other people and the circumstance in the school and the professors. I can put all that blame on them and say I didn't do well because of them, or I didn't do well because the school wasn't the best school. Or I can just take personal responsibility and say I didn't do well because my comprehension skills or my study skills weren't the strongest and I wasn't ready for medical school at that time. It's all about taking that personal responsibility for your actions and just taking ownership of things that have not gone right in your life, and just accepting it. Once we can accept it, that is the first step in overcoming that victim mentality. What personal responsibility does is it gives you the power instead of putting the power in someone else's hands. And that is very important because we want that personal power. We don't want to give power to anyone else and let them have control over our life. I have an exercise for you. Take note of all of your thoughts that you have in one day. Do you have positive thoughts? Do you tend to have more negative thoughts? Write that down and take note of that. Majority of your day, what kind of thoughts are you thinking? Thoughts that are adding to your life and bringing positivity to your life, or things that are just filling you up with these like negative, harmful emotions? So as you're doing your mindset work, you want to shift from that mindset of it's their fault to it's me, it's on me, it's my responsibility to make those changes. You want to shift your mindset and take full responsibility so you're no longer the victim. And when it comes to this mindset where you want to work with a coach, you can work with a therapist, you can get some kind of mentor, I would highly recommend starting off like I did. I started off reading self-help books. I started talking to a therapist, journaling. I love writing. That was another big one for me. Just finding different helpful content, even here on YouTube. So those are all different ways that you can start to shift your mindset every single day. And every single day, just, listen to it on the way to work. Listen to it while you're cleaning. Every day, just make sure you're setting aside at least 30 minutes for your mindset work. Step 3, realize that you shape your reality. Understand that we see the world as we are and not as it is. So we shape how we view the world. How we view the world is really how we view ourselves. It's important that we don't view the world based on how we feel. We want to view the world based on how it actually is, not on how it is based on our trauma or our past experiences. So for example, do you feel lazy? Do you feel unattractive? Do you feel unproductive? I feel like that's how you're going to view the world. You're going to view the world in that negative viewpoint. So how I was able to change my view of the world and change my reality is through, again, doing my inner work. I've been on this inner work journey for almost 2 years, and it's been such an incredible journey. I've really been able to get myself out of that negative mindset, out of that victim mindset. I always had so many negative emotions of, again, just feeling like lazy, unattractive, not enough, not knowing, not feeling like I contribute anything to society, just not feeling enough, not feeling good enough. It was once I started doing my inner work, my mindset started to really shift. Started to feel positive emotions, positive feelings about myself, and it really altered my view of the world, because instead of feeling like everyone was out to get me, instead of feeling lost, insecure, like I don't contribute anything to society, I feel good. I love myself. I accept myself. I'm more secure in who I am and what I bring to the world. And it's really just totally shifted my reality and how I feel about not only about myself, but about others, what I feel about others, how I think about others, how I view others. And not viewing people is a big one. This is one I've struggled with, and I still struggle with, and something that a lot of people struggle with, and maybe you might struggle with, not viewing people with such judgment. And a lot of times we view people with so much judgment because we harshly judge ourselves. So that is one big thing, major thing that I've been working on this year. Step 4, you want to realize things aren't happening to you, but things are happening around you. Things are happening for you. So what I mean by this is we all have life experiences. We have good life experiences, bad life experiences. Like I said, they really shape our viewpoint and our reality. They shape our view of other people as well. But it's important not to take things personally. We don't want to take every little thing that happens to us, every little thing that happens around us, everything little thing that someone else says as personal. And I did this for so long, and I still do this. It can be, if you're one of those people, it can be difficult to overcome and not get offended over every little thing, and not ruminate over every single little detail and blame yourself or blame other people constantly. That can be so challenging. So challenging. But you can get through it, and you can work through it. And that is what start doing the inner work. So for me, I was able to do each one of these steps, and it really has helped me grow into who I am right now, sitting in front of you today. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't start my inner work journey and begin to heal this area of my life and not see myself as the victim. The biggest thing for me, I would say, out of all the steps I've given you, is that mindset shift. Shifting that mindset and really realizing that I control my reality. The major thing that has changed me, changed my mindset, and brought me out of that victim mentality is that personal responsibility. That personal responsibility allowed me to shift my mindset. That personal responsibility allowed me to change my reality. So those are two big things. Those are two major things that I highly suggest you work on. That is the one major thing that you need to do today. You need to take that personal responsibility, and that can be so hard and so challenging, and at times we can be really prideful. We can be very prideful. We don't want to necessarily point the finger at ourselves. We don't want to blame ourselves for certain things that took place in our life. And you know what? It may not be your fault. But guess what is your responsibility? Your healing is your responsibility. And once you have that spiritual awakening, it's life-changing. Because you begin to wake up and you begin to see, wow, this is my life. I only have one chance. I only have one opportunity. Life is too amazing and too beautiful to waste it feeling like a victim. No, the experiences may not be wonderful and beautiful, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about life. Life itself is so beautiful. Life itself is so amazing. Once you can wake up, you'll see. You'll see how beautiful and wonderful and amazing it is. And you don't want to waste any time as a victim, because I wasted a long, long time as a victim. And I'm so glad I'm out of that place. And I'm never going back to that place because of that personal responsibility that I took. So I challenge you to take that personal responsibility today. If you are on your inner work journey, or you want to begin your inner work journey and you don't know where to start, I am holding inner work consultations. Basically, this is where I ask you a few questions to get some insight on what different areas you need to heal in your life and where you should start. And we can come up with a plan on how you're going to start your inner work journey and what you're going to do. And I'll leave my email in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful in some kind of way, and I will see you next time. Peace and love.